the production, the songwriting, the features, the presentation of it, the album rollout, like this is saving Kanye's.
Yeah.
This is some saving grace. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Soul Serum podcast. I am your Cardi and Yeezy, how'd that happen? Host Clay Bonine. I'm usually joined by my co-host Tanner Mavis. However, he is out of town at the time of recording this. So today I am joined by my I wanna go to the moon co-host John Buchanan.
Don't leave so soon. That shit is spiritual.
It is spiritual, bro. We have been transcending the last couple of hours after the Donda listening party. But before we talk about that, I want to remind everybody, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Soul Serum. Subscribe to us on YouTube, the main page, the Soul Serum TV page. Lots of good recent videos up on there. Check out all the Mike Lavi content, the Roadrunner TB documentary, all that good stuff. TikTok, Discord, Patreon if you like early videos and merch discounts. We have to record the team podcast for this month, by the way. I just thought about that right now, but we can talk about that later because we have something a little bit more pressing to talk about right now. An underground indie artist by the name of Kanye West. Very small.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, well, he's got some pretty good music. I'd recommend checking him out. But no, in all seriousness, the second Donda live listening event at Mercedes-Benz Stadium happened last night. I personally didn't catch the first one, but I did watch this one. Me, you, Fiki, a couple of friends watched it last night. Mm-hmm. And at the time of recording this, the album is not officially out on streaming services yet. According to Apple Music, the pre-order thing, it's going to be out by August 9th, which is when this podcast is going to come out. So we're doing a little kind of prediction episode here.
Man, Kanye is a wild card.
Yeah,
you never know what he's gonna do.
It's supposed to come out on August 9th, but realistically though, it very well could not come out on today. So we'll see what happens there. But I have this broken down into 3 sections for us, and the first thing that I want to talk about here is just our general reaction to the event, the actual show, the presentation, and the imagery of what we saw last night. If for those who have been living under a rock, it was supposed to start at 8:30, right? It actually started at 10:30 in classic.
I think it was 9:30.
Was it not? Yeah, you're right. It was supposed to start at 9:30, and then it actually started at 10:30. But we, like a couple of goofies, just watched the screen that's just his bed, the weights, the shoes, jackets, the candle that, I want to let the record show, never went out. That candle was strong. Must have been no draft in Mercedes-Benz Stadium last night. But what did you think about that, John, though? What about, as far as the entire
whole event?
Presentation of the event?
I mean, this man Kanye never misses. I tweeted that out last night while I was watching it. This man, everything he does just seems to be a moment. Mm-hmm. He creates a whole new era, I feel with every project. Maybe besides his last one, but he still did, but I feel it wasn't as big as a moment in hip hop. Yeah. But it feels like a classic Kanye moment right now.
What I kept thinking about last night was when Yeezus came out and he was doing not the same thing that he's doing now, but kind of something similar. Yeah. You know, the mask, the big stage productions of it. I wasn't really. Oh God! I just smacked a bug out of the air for anybody listening and not watching.
PETA, don't come at us.
PETA, don't cancel us. I didn't really get to like pay attention to what Kanye was doing like artistically when Yeezus came out. I just wasn't really listening or paying attention to music in that kind of like close of a perspective, but this felt very similar to me though, where like it's almost like he's doing a character, not like a goofy like caricature, but like he has created another type of Kanye almost to deliver this album.
It's the same with like how Cardi turned into a fucking vampire for a whole lot of red.
And we are going to talk about Cardi in a little bit, of course.
And that's probably why Kanye fucks with him like that too, because he's doing like the same type of, just the build up for that album was crazy.
Yeah.
The same as this one and all of Kanye's albums.
And the evolution of Cardi, while I wouldn't say it's similar to the evolution of Kanye because they're two very different artists, like they're both, as we can see, as I think Cardi solidified with Whole Lotta Red, they're both artists that like to evolve, that like to keep changing, that want to make something different, not like their last album, which I think is awesome. The spiky jacket, by the way, fucking hard, really fucking crazy. Kanye doing push-ups.
On top of the fucking bulletproof vest.
The funniest thing I saw today was that lyric from 30 Hours on The Life of Pablo where he says, I hit the gym, all chest, no legs. And it's just like the clips of him doing push-ups and curls. I'm like, damn, Kanye was really spitting. no cap,
I
all
haven't
chest,
seen
no
him
legs.
do any squats yet.
Where's the Kanye workout plan at? And before we move on to our next segment too, we have to talk about the lasting images of the concert. It was really cool. What I loved about the show last night, I don't even know, is it a show? Is it an event?
I don't even know.
Is it whatever? Well, I'm just gonna call it the show. What I liked about the show last night was it was simple yet still very cinematic. Like the lighting choices, the stage setup, the wardrobe, the costuming, like it was all very simple, but it all felt cohesive and really worked together. But the lasting image, when it went dark and we're all sitting there and we're like, is it done? We're like, no, it's not done. No, there's no way it's done. Lights come on. Kanye is ascending through the top of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I was blown away.
Yeah,
I was absolutely blown away by that.
Kanye just knows how to grab attention, I feel like that, I don't even know.
It was such
when we thought it was over, he's just like, nah, I'm making it crazy as fuck.
It's like, I think one thing that gets lost a lot nowadays is like, people want to react really quickly to stuff as we're literally recording a fucking podcast the day after this. But a lot of this, I'm curious to see. I want to see how that moment is going to age in like the legacy of the Kanye live performance and the things that will get reposted to your Instagram Explore page 6 years from now. Like,
well, that's like so memeable. I feel like it's like, because that SpongeBob meme of him like ascending like that has already been a meme. Now we have the Kanye version of it.
There were quite a few memeable moments last night when he was in the big, anytime where he was in the big jacket. Every single frame I was like, this is hilarious. I think this is so funny.
Yeah.
But let's move on. I want to talk about musically what we thought of Donda. Now, as I said before, I didn't get to see the first live stream, and you did. And from my understanding, a lot of it felt unfinished. There was a lot of drums and a lot of actual production that was...
Not a lot of 808s.
That was missing out of it. So what did you think, first reaction to like this updated version of Donda?
It's definitely better. I feel like he's honing in on what he wants it to sound on. I don't think it's like completely finished though.
Yeah.
And that's why it didn't drop.
I think you could tell, especially in a lot of the vocals. I think you could
especially
tell,
like Cuddy's vocals, you could hear like the ad libs were as loud as the vocal track. So it's like,
it definitely is not fully
mix and
polished per se, but I think we probably did get a really good idea of what the final album is going to sound like. When I was doing the research this morning, or like getting this episode ready, I was just seeing what clips were on YouTube and what I could watch, and one of them was the Weeknd song, Hurricane ? I think is what it was called.
I think that's what they're calling it. I don't know.
Do I not have the Genius page pulled up? Did I not? Oh, okay, there we go. It's just on my other. Yeah, Hurricane. I was reading the comments in the YouTube section today of one of the versions of it, and like one of the comments was like, "It's crazy. When I first heard this, the first version of this, I was a junior in high school, and now I'm a sophomore in college." And I like it even more. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy that because we have been hearing that song for a while, but I think
they switched up the beat too a little bit.
Yeah. I think that goes to show though, like, that good art, this isn't always true, because some amazing things have been made in like 30 minutes, but good art, like that, like not everything can be made in an hour sitting at your laptop. You know what I mean?
It also shows the timelessness of Kanye's music.
To hold on to a song for 3 years and just like know, because you know Kanye, you know he knew that he had something crazy with that, and to hold on to it and just polish it and polish it and polish it and make it right is like insane to me. I also want to talk about how like I was like writing down little bits of notes in my phone last night while we were watching, just to like try and like think of some things to say on the podcast. And one thing that I kept realizing back and forth, so like Jesus is King is a gospel album on the very far like gospel side of the spectrum. This is a little bit further to the non-gospel, but we're still getting a lot of like Christianity themes and motifs. But sonically though, he's using all of these church like chords and these organ chords and these progressions, but with
mixed with like Yeezus, like
mixed with the crazy drums, those crazy like
the dun, dun, dun,
like, and I thought that was such a smart way for him to be like I still am trying to show like my, I don't know if holiness is the right word. I'm not
faith.
Yeah. Thank you. He's still trying to show how strong his faith is and how much it's influenced him, but at the same time, he's like making these modern sounding rap beats. Like, and I just thought that was that right there is a perfect example of like the artistic value of Kanye's music. How did he mix those? Like, it's just crazy. I also want to note, almost all of the features on this album were long. Like the 5Yo foreign verse, long as hell. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up.
Cardi had 2 verses.
The Conway the Machine and West Side Gun verses, all of the verses on Jesus Lord, which looking back now, I thought it was Benny the Butcher on it before I saw the features, but Styles P, J Electronica, and Chic Louch, who I don't know, I guess makes sense. The Jadakiss verse, I'm hoping that Jadakiss verse got recorded after the verses of him and fucking Cameron, because like there was the picture of him in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I hope Kanye was just like, yeah, Kiss, I need this verse right fucking now. The Vori features, the Jay-Z feature, the Baby Keem feature was long. That is a long verse. Like, I'm pulling up the lyrics right now. Shout out to Genius. This literally got updated last night, but like, all right, so like the intro, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, and look how long the Baby Keem verse is, bro. It is like pretty much the first part of the song, like it's like the same length of it. And along with the features being long, they were almost all, not every one of them, but almost all of them were from like newer artists. You got Don Toliver, Baby Keem, Lil Yachty, Cardi, Dirk, 5Yo Foreign, like people who really got popping within the last 5 to 6 years.
Roddy Ricch,
like, and I don't think Kanye's necessarily a stranger to putting like this many features on his albums, but to do it with this many like contemporary like hip hop artists, I think is something that we haven't.
But then
really
he
seen
also
from
brought
him.
in the older crowd, like
He's got
Jadakiss.
Jay-Z, he's got Jadakiss.
His frequent collaborators, Kid Cudi, Jay-Z.
Yeah. And so also I just want to
Sunday Service.
I just want to say on the Genius track list that we're looking at this point in time, there's 22 tracks that got played last night, and there are 4 tracks on here that I guess are unreleased. There's, according to Genius, there's one with Snoop, Dr. Dre. There's one with Tyler the Creator. I don't know. I'm not gonna get too hung up on that for right now. But that I really loved that element of this album was his ability to go and get these features from new artists to, I don't even really know if it's like a passing of a torch, but it's almost like a
cosign.
It's a cosign though. And Kanye's also in that kind of saying like I'm still like in the rap game. Like I don't know if y'all thought that I left with the last 2 albums, but like I'm still in the rap game, which I thought was really awesome. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple of bars that I heard last night that were just some classic corny Kanye lyrics. In the context of this album, I think they're less flagrant than like on Ye or Jesus is King. But there were still a couple moments when we were watching that live stream last night where I just had to laugh. I just had to fucking laugh. But there's also a lot of really good Kanye lyrics on this album too. Like he dipped back into his songwriting bag. After Closed on Sunday, after the Chick-fil-A song, he really dipped back into his songwriting bag.
That like second to last song they played, that was just like Kanye by himself. Was like that was brand new that was not on the first
on the old
listening party, and like
is it this one? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I remember.
No, it was before that. Because the We Gonna Be Okay, that was when he was ascending. It was the one before that.
Might be this.
But it was literally just Kanye on there, and it sounded like a classic, like something off of like Life of Pablo or something.
Yeah. One thing I definitely want to talk about too before we get into any other segment is I really don't think Kanye has attacked social issues on his albums like for real, since like you could argue Yeezus. I mean, on the Life of Pablo and on Ye, he kind of like touches it a little bit, but he doesn't really address it like he does on Dark Twisted Fantasy or on Yeezus. And on this album, this song, Jesus Lord with Jadakiss and Jay Electronica and all of them, just like his commentary on Black America and what's happening in it, and having that outro with Larry Hoover Jr. talking about his father never coming out, like that was a really moving moment for me last night, was hearing that, because that is why people loved Kanye in the first place. Like college dropout and late registration, he's now. And I would like to preface this by saying, obviously, if you go from living in disenfranchised neighborhoods to being one of the most poppin' artists in the world, I don't blame the man for getting away from that, because he started living a different life, you know, and he starts to talk about different things. But we really haven't heard him talk about these social issues in such a long time, and he attacked it head on. And I just loved it. I just loved it so much. I was like, thank you, Kanye. Thank you. Jesus came through and did the laundry, and now here we are. I thought that was very important for him, though. Because, well, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to transition to the third segment here now. This will be the longest of the segments. But I think... So our third segment for this is what I like to call bold predictions. I want to make some claims and see if they come true. I have some like guiding questions to help us out with this, but I'm going to kind of jump a little bit into this. I think this album is going to be a legacy saver for Kanye West. it's too early for me to call musically where this album will rank. I mean, the album's literally not even out yet, so I'm not going to sit here and say that it's better than any other album because I've really only listened to it once. But my initial reaction to it, the production, the songwriting, the features, the presentation of it, the album rollout, like this is saving Kanye's.
Yeah.
This is some saving grace for Kanye.
It feels like the ultimate Kanye album.
Right.
Like it's just all his sounds and like personalities mixed together into one beam that's going through Mercedes-Benz fucking stadium.
Also, no way that man paid $1 million a day to stay in that house or to stay in that room, rather.
It's literally like as big as this room. It's like...
Dude, it literally is the podcast room. Also, this is the fucking best PR for Mercedes-Benz Stadium that they could ever fucking ask for. There is no way they're charging that man $1 million to stay there. But yeah, I think in relation to Kanye's general public reception in the last 3 or so years, we've kind of fallen off on him a little bit, fallen back rather. Like, I know I definitely have, and I don't think that's very wild for me to say. I think a lot of people feel the same way, but I mean, Ye was okay. I like some of the songs off Ye, but in between that time,
I think Ye's underrated. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair. I wouldn't argue against that. But like that and Jesus is King, and all of his non-music activities and events per se outside of the music, like I think the public perception of Kanye has really dipped down some since then. And this, like, as I'm watching it last night, I'm like feeling my meter like fill back up for like defending Kanye, because I got tired of defending Kanye 2016, 2017. I was just like, I love this guy's music, but I'm not going to defend any of the things that he's doing right now. And this, I think, is going to make us forget about a lot of that shit, honestly. You know? That's how I feel. Were you feeling a little bit lower on Kanye in the past couple of years?
I've always loved Kanye because he was like probably the first like artist that actually inspired me, like really inspired me as like a 12 or 13-year-old. And like, so I'll always have that like I'm always gonna like be drawn to Kanye and like love him, as he's basically like one of my idols. Yeah. And in the past couple years, I still like supported him, but like I don't know, I don't support what he did, but I still supported him as an artist and as a person. But like, I don't know. I would say, as my meter was more down, but it probably wasn't as down as most people, because from being a Kanye like stan, I know he always goes through these cycles of like going crazy, doing some like outlandish shit, and then he comes back and drops the greatest album ever.
That's facts. I feel you. And I think it should be known to say that Kanye obviously struggles with like mental health issues. Yeah. When is he medicated? When is he not medicated? You know, that plays into a lot of it as well. Yeah. But let's make some bold predictions and some bold claims. Are we really thinking, at the time when this episode is released at noon on Monday, August 9th, is Donda gonna be on streaming services? No? I want to say yes, but I don't want to look like a fucking fool again. I don't want to look like... Also, hey, go back to the Mike Lavi episode. I literally called it. It was supposed to come out that following day or weekend or whatever, and it was not out. I just want to say I predicted it. I want to say yes, but...
he's not putting it out till it's like perfect.
Cause we saw the Apple Music pre-order information. It said 24 tracks.
Well, it said like
releasing on
expected August 9th.
Ah, expected.
Yeah.
Okay, that is far different from releasing on.
I don't know what that comes from. Like, where did I get that date? But maybe it'll drop next Friday. Maybe we'll have the third listening party, the final listening party. And
we
then
kept talking about that last
it.
night too. We were like, well, he's got to do a third one, right? Like, he's got to do a third fucking listening party.
But what is that? Like, Monday will be like 4 days from yesterday. So
Monday is also a terrible day to drop.
Yeah, they could get it perfect enough to drop, but like they'd probably have to be working like overtime. Yeah, which they probably are anyways.
Yeah,
but
they're probably working on it literally right now.
And then Kanye, he's probably gonna like go back on shit and be like, nah, take that whole verse off. We're redoing this. We're adding this song. That
was actually going to be a question that I had too. Are we going to get The Life of Pablo post-release where he's like, I'm going to fix it. He's like, I'm going to fix it and I'm going to redo these verses. And da, 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 da. I think we probably will.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's interesting how Kanye is kind of working on it in almost like a DIY format, but it's also like this grand musical fucking
It feels like
project.
We're kind of like on the journey with him of him like it feels like he's literally been working on this album for like 2 weeks, which he probably hasn't. Most of the songs have been in the works, but like I feel like he's actually been like honing in on this shit for the last like month, really 2 weeks, like going hard. But like the last month he's probably been going like hard. These last 2 weeks he's actually like barely sleeping type shit to get this finished. And it feels like we've just been like, it feels like he's letting us in on like his process kind of like with the 24-hour live stream like of him sleeping and shit. Like we see like everything. It's I don't know, it's cool to see just a process like this past week of him. I knew it wasn't gonna drop last night.
There was absolutely no way it was gonna drop last night. But believe me, I was still on Spotify at 12:02 looking for it though. I was looking for it. We'll have to restart the cameras in a second. But before we do that, I just want to shout out to Genius. This is like their little. First of all, look how long this description of this album is. I just want to read off the dates that are in relation to Donda. He first announced a new project via Twitter on November 18th, 2019, and at the time it was to be titled Jesus is King Part 2. During May 2020, cinematographer Arthur Jaffa revealed that him and Kanye were working on a video. June 30th, 2020, Kanye releases Wash Us in the Blood, which I forgot about. He also confirmed the album's title would be God's Country, and then he deleted that. July 12th, 2020, he previewed a portion of the title track, Donda. July 25th, 2020, he revealed the original cover art. July 17th, 2021, a video surfaced of Kanye and Tyler playing new music in the studio. July 21st, 2021, that's when the commercial came out during the NBA Finals.
Yeah, like this has all been in the past like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like
posted a picture on Instagram with playboi Carti and an updated track list on the 21st. The album did not release on the 23rd. August 6th is when he started the latest live stream, and then we watched it last night as well. And of course, there were new songs, updated songs, everything like that. But we've been waiting on this album or some form of this album for almost 2 years at this point, and here we fucking are. Attention listeners across the galaxy, all the way from Australia to Houston. Do we have a pube problem? If so, Our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff. Kick your pubes into the next planet with the Performance Package and the Lawnmower 4.0, just like the other 2 million men worldwide that trust Manscaped for all their below-the-belt grooming. If you are looking for an out-of-this-world experience, then look no further than the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped. It has just launched off not only in the USA, but Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. And I know that we have at least one listener in Australia. I see you popping up on the demographics, my friend. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you will find the new and improved Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, a pair of boxer briefs that I'm wearing right now, and a travel bag to hold your whole solar system. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 400K LED spotlight you can turn on and off when needed for a more precise shave throughout your travels across the universe. It also includes a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology. After you get done using the Lawnmower 4.0, don't forget to wrap it all up with the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver to help your planets be on their A game when you're feeling the sun's heat. If you want to help out the podcast and help yourself out, you can get 20% off on any product and free worldwide shipping if you use our code SoulSerumPod. That's right, you heard me. Go to manscaped.com. Get yourself 20% off. Get some free worldwide shipping by using our code SoulSerumPod. For a clean trinity and beyond, your space balls will thank you. Go to manscaped.com. Use our code. Now back to the podcast. Next question. Do we think that this will have the alleged 24 tracks that are on the track list? Now, as I mentioned earlier, on Genius, there are 22 tracks that are numbered, and then there are 4 tracks that are, I guess, bonus tracks, rumored unreleased tracks, whatever it may be. Do we think that we're going to have a full 24 songs on here?
I think everything he played last night will be on there.
I think so, too.
So we'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 more songs, but at least 22.
Yeah, I think which is crazy because it did not feel, well, it did kind of feel long last night, but it didn't feel like 22 songs were played.
Yeah.
Like I want to say, wait, what was the stream? It was like an hour and a half-ish, hour 28 roughly. Yeah. But it really didn't feel like it was 22 songs, though, which is crazy to me. Which I think, honestly, is a testament to the quality of the music on this album.
And it's also, like, you're hearing it all for the first time, so it's, like, it doesn't feel dragging on to you if, like, since you haven't, it's all new. So it's like, oh, shit, what is this?
What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah.
2 Playboi Cardi verses, by the way. We kind of skipped over that, but I do want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
2 Playboi Cardi verses?
How's that? What? This man came on with the Hamza and then talked about, he didn't talk about Jesus, but maybe Kanye did in that song.
One of the only, snippets that you can find on YouTube right now is the Off the Grid song with 504 and Playboi Cardi. And in case you were curious, it is just as hard the next day.
Yeah,
too.
Bro, that shit Cardi verse is so
crazy. It was crazy.
Is that the one where he's like, easy, Cardi ain't easy. How did it happen?
Yeah.
At the end of his verse. Yeah, that shit is so hard.
Look how long the 504 verse is. I like where he say, hold on, I'm gonna find that part. If you got a voice, then you gotta project it. If you got a wrong, then you gotta correct it. Like, he went crazy. Oh no, this isn't the song. I think it's the other song. Junior Watanabe.
Yeah.
Junior Watanabe.
Yeah, so they added that second Cardi verse on this.
4-5 summers. Yeah, Cardi and Yeezy had that happen.
Or the second half of that
Bro,
verse, I should say.
I just can't believe I said this to you last night, but I'm gonna say it on air. If you had told me the day after self-titled Playboi Carti album dropped, you told me. You said, "Hey, I just want you to know in about 4 or 5 years,
4 or 5 summers.
in about 4 or 5 summers, this gentleman is gonna have not one but 2 features on the new Kanye album." I would have been like,
and an album produced by Kanye.
I would have been like,
executively
no
produced.
fucking way. I mean, the guy's good, but is he that good though?
Yeah.
I would have looked like a fool back then. That's just, as Cardi stands, we just have to mention that. That is worth mentioning. Okay, what do you think is going to be the hit, quote unquote, hit off this album? I think the No Child Left Behind already has some power behind it.
Say.
I really think the Jay-Z song might be the hit, though, for real. That guitar and Jay-Z referencing the Return of the Throne, it all felt like to me, the Jay-Z song, which is called Jail, by the way.
Guess who's going to jail tonight?
He said, "I'll be honest, we're all liars. I'll be honest, we're all liars. I'm pulled over and I got priors. Guess we going down. Guess who's going to jail tonight? Guess who's going to jail tonight?" But it just had that feeling that I feel like it could be like chopped up and played in like a Fast and Furious commercial type thing. And Jay-Z saying, "This might be the return of the throne."
Yeah.
Hova and Yeezus like Moses and Jesus.
Jesus.
Woo! My God. I think that the No Child Left Behind, but that's obviously because we've already gotten that kind of displayed in the commercial. If I had to pick a dark horse, though, I don't know.
Moon's gonna be the sleeper.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my
Good
favorite.
call.
I already
You're
know
absolutely right. Moon is the sleeper. I don't know if it will be a hit on like a radio kind of sense, but I think it'll be a hit on like
the Kanye fans.
yes, 100%. The fact that he put Cudi on there, I was like, it was almost like such an obvious choice that it was like
everyone was saying that after the first stream too. They're like, we need Cudi on Moon with Don.
Didn't he tweet? He was like, when I tweeted that I wasn't on the album, hit me up the following week
they
or
were
whatever.
asking him, like fans were asking him if he's on. They're like, this sounds like someone who's on Donda or something. He was like, nah. And then like right after that,
hit him up.
Yeah.
Fucking goat.
And then he knocked that shit out, I guess, in a week. That's why I said, like, I feel like most of this album has been made in the past, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Whole Lotta Red. I feel like that whole album was made in, like, a month.
Yeah, true. I guess let's talk about that. Like, Whole Lotta Red, we were expecting, and there were a couple, but we were expecting...
Whole lot of leaks.
Whole lot of leaks, exactly. And... not that I have listened or have gotten any zip share files with this stuff, but I have heard that Yandi and Donda and some other Kanye stuff has been going around the past couple years. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but that's what I've heard. And I think we were probably expecting a lot of that stuff, and we got some of it. Mm-hmm. But to your point, though, in the last month, in the last 2 weeks, Kanye has probably flipped a lot of that shit on its head and been inspired in these past couple of weeks and made all of these changes too. Like
it's the same with Whole Lotta Red.
Yeah, like literally.
Well, that was Kanye's doing probably too. Because Cardi just went to Kanye's like compound and locked in with him. Yeah. At least from what I know. And I guess Kanye just like, all right, let's fucking do this shit, lock in for the next like 2-3 weeks and just create whatever happens.
That's so fucking cool, man. That is so wild.
Roll balls and then just go crazy. Ride a tank.
Do you think Cardi was off the drugs at Kanye's studio?
Do I think or do I know? This man literally said, "I'm off the X, I'm off the codeine." Like, there's no, you don't just fucking
Kanye's
up
just
with that
reading his
sober,
pocket
bro.
Bible, and Cardi's just fucking putting ecstasy in his tongue, just
Yeah.
like going crazy. What a fucking duo, man.
Yeah, it's like the yin and yang, like I was saying last night, I think. Like, Cardi's the devil, Kanye's the Jesus, even though he's not really a Jesus figure, but like
He's closer
yeah,
to that than Cardi
he
is,
labels
at least.
himself as a Catholic or Christian man.
Yeah.
And always
He is a man of high
spreading the
faith.
faith, yeah. And then Cardi's just talking like this man literally
Like, that is not holy. Nothing
this
about
man is
that
like,
is holy.
if you showed him to an old person, like they would probably think Satan is like making this music.
we talked about this yesterday, like when you listen to a whole lot of Red, and it's like imagine explaining that to your grandparents. On the contrary, on the yin of the yang of the yin, explaining Donda to your grandparents, way easier.
Yeah, with
probably
all the choir and stuff.
Yeah, I hope that because some of the live show last night, they were mixing in the live vocals of the Sunday service choir.
I hope it's on there.
I hope some of it is on there. It doesn't need to be every song, but I hope some of the Sunday service choir stuff gets put on there, which is also the beauty of the live show, is that we get a unique version of this song, a one-time version.
That choir
of this
mixed
song.
with The Weeknd's voice was heavenly.
Man,
I wish they would mix in that original version too of the like Kanye like vocal. I don't know what you call it, but like the Daft Punk kind of style.
The God, I know the fucking
electronic.
word for it. I think it's called a vocoder or something like that. Yeah.
Like vocoder. Yeah.
One of the comments on the Hurricane video that got uploaded to YouTube, by the way, was I can't wait for the fan mashup of all the best versions of this song, which is gonna be fire. We can go over this one very quickly because I touched on it a little bit earlier. But do we think this is gonna be a top 5 album for Kanye? And this is part of our way too early predictions section, by the way. We actually cannot call it, but top 5, because this is his 10th. This will be his 10th album. If we're not counting Kids See Ghosts, that is.
True.
Because this is like off the top of the head, in no particular order. Top 5 Kanye albums for me is probably Yeezus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Put Yeezus over. Oh, you said no.
No particular order. If I was doing it in order, I would think about it a lot more. But just top 5, just off the top of my head: Yeezus, Dark Twisted Fantasy, Graduation, Late Registration, and I mean. Well, this is the way too early prediction, so I don't feel bad about this. But I don't feel bad about putting Donda right there as number 5, to be honest with you.
I was going to say that. I think it would be
bad.
number 5 of 5. Out
So
of the
let's
top
look.
5.
1, not counting Kids See Ghosts or The Cruel Summer. But we are counting Watch the Throne, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we don't count Watch the Throne, if we're just doing strictly singular Kanye West albums, this will be his 10th album. I feel okay putting it over Ye and Jesus is King, obviously. Not to discredit 808s and Heartbreaks, but I'd feel okay putting it over that. I think where it gets dicey, though, is this Life of Pablo, Late Registration, College Dropout area. Because I think, unarguably, Dark Twisted Fantasy and Yeezus are 1A and 1B. You could argue either of those. And I hate when people do the thing.
First listen, I think I enjoyed this more than Yeezus. So, like, off my first listen of Yeezus and my first listen of Donda, I think I'm more yeah, I'm more like blown away by Donda. Even though Yeezus was like some next level shit, I was like
at the time
13
it was
years
hard.
old, like,
Yeah, it was.
What in the fuck is this? I've never heard anything like this.
It's kind of hard to understand Yeezus on the first listen.
Yeah.
Just because it's so
Yeah.
left field, you know? So, do we think this will be a top 5 album for Kanye? I would say at the bare minimum, it is very possible.
Yeah.
I don't want to put any definite answers, but it is very possible, though. And then my final question on all of this is, Kanye West is now 44 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z's last album, 444, dropped when he was 47. And it's kind of like this old, I don't want to say old man, but like old man, mature sort of hip-hop album. How many more Kanye albums do you think we get before he really calls it quits? The thing is I think you could answer this question. You could be like, you could say like, oh, we're going to get 7 more. And I would fully be on board and be like, yeah, I get that. I'm going to say we're really only going to get 2, maybe 3, if we're lucky, more albums from Kanye before he really calls it quits on music and shifts his focus to other stuff.
I don't know, because Kanye's like a different type of artist. Like, you see Eminem like still making music and like,
good point.
But in like in the younger generation, he's getting like shit on basically, but he still sells like crazy numbers.
I went to an Eminem video the other day and was looking at the comment section.
Yeah.
There is no hate comments on YouTube
crazy.
For Eminem,
but
which in my mind it's like everybody hates Eminem, right? Not true.
But he's still getting like 100 million views every video
that is
type
so
shit.
Like crazy.
But like, I feel like he's fallen off in like the new generation's
Definitely,
eyes.
100%.
But I don't see Kanye doing that because I feel like he's just too much of like a perfectionist to where he's not gonna put out, like, Jesus is King is like the worst product he'll put out. And that's like 1,000 times better than fucking Eminem's.
I was gonna say it's still like
most
not like
shit.
that bad of an album.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite Kanye album, but it's not like bad.
There's still some hits on there too.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I think the difference here with Eminem and Kanye is if you listen to Eminem's most recent song, it sounds eerily similar.
Yeah, that's what he hasn't
him in 1999.
Yeah, he hasn't evolved. I feel like maybe he's evolved, but like he hasn't. His sound hasn't evolved.
Yes, exactly.
His like lyricism and like mental has evolved maybe.
Yeah.
But not his like overall sound.
If you listen to like the new workout plan off College Dropout, and then you listen to like Name Any Song off Donda, two wildly different sounds,
Facts.
two wildly different people. You know, it's obviously both Kanye, but two mentally wildly different people. And I think that really shows the just like the stay power and the longevity of Kanye West and the artistry.
Man's
man.
a pure artist.
So how many albums, if you had to put a number on it, how many albums do you think Kanye would put out under the name of Kanye West, like his own album,
so
before he calls it
44 right now?
44.
Yeah, I think like 2.
I think 2
maybe 3 if you're lucky, but 2. I think 2 is a solid number.
Because I kind of think like he'll drop an album after this and it's going to get received kind of like average. It's going to be received as like an average album. And then he's going to have to go back in the lab. And I mean, I don't know what he's going to do next time. Is he going to fucking live at the bottom of the ocean?
But he also could like never drop music after this again. And like he would still be one of the greatest, if not the greatest artist of this generation.
Because we know Kanye has other plans for like his like God's Country thing, like the No Child Left Behind stuff. Like he definitely wants to move past music at some point.
Mm-hmm. But he already has too.
True,
like he's running a $1 billion business.
Yeah, literally. I didn't look at any of the Yeezy Gap stuff.
This man said I could give $1 to every person in the world on one of those
He
Donda
did say
songs.
that, bro. He did say that. I was like, what? What I gotta...
That they don't have anything out right now.
Oh, for real? Oh,
yeah,
never mind. I'm not
they
gonna
dropped
look at it
that blue jacket, and it sold like $7 million overnight or something.
then. Jesus Christ almighty. That's fucking
Or
insane.
that was just like the pre-order for it or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Any final resolution thoughts on Donda before we wrap it up here? Can you give me a 2-sentence summarization on what you saw last night and what you think of the album?
Well, I think it's gonna be a classic, honestly. It's kind of like, I hate to keep drawing like a whole lot of red in this comparisons, but like it's kind of the same deal where like, and I don't know if people agree with me on this, but a whole lot of red I feel like is like, you can take parts of Cardi's older bodies of works and like find them within Whole Lotta Red.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's not super like obvious,
though.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like you can hear it, like you
Definitely.
can hear the evolution. And
I
I
would
feel
agree.
like Donda, from what I've heard, is like all the best Kanye's mixed together. So I feel like it's like the ultimate Kanye album is what we're getting.
That's a fucking excellent analysis.
And
honestly.
also, like, his rollout and, like, the theme he has for it is, like, it's a mix of, like, Yeezus with, like...
with his newfound Christianity, like...
Yeah, and then, like... I don't even know. This man's in, like, a military fucking...
I think
uniform.
I really was getting like prison vibes from
Yeah.
it, just because it's like small bed on the floor, weights, 2 pairs of shoes,
Yeah.
a jacket, like, and then the stuff that you write on. I don't exactly know where that plays into
Also,
all
the
of
last
this.
song is Jail.
Yeah, literally, like.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly from an artistic, metaphorical standpoint what the jail themes imply here, but I think that is something to think about too. My final resolution thoughts on this, musically, this album is fucking incredible from what I've heard so far. The rollout was amazing, and Kanye West has just saved his legacy with this album. I think he's still, without this album, he's still, like, if he fell off the face of the earth after Jesus is king,
like,
he's still a GOAT.
It's just going off on the right note.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
if he drops Donda and never drops again, he would have gone off on like the best note.
Yeah, for real.
But like, if he would have just stopped making music after Jesus is king and all these like crazy rants he went on, and like,
Yeah.
that would have been a bad note to go off on.
Definitely. So good job, Kanye. If you're
It
watching
would
the
have
Soul Serum
put a
podcast,
little like tarnish on his legacy.
Yes,
but like,
totally agree.
he still would have been a GOAT.
Totally agree. Well, I want to remind everybody, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Soul Serum. Thank you everybody for watching or listening. I just said watching. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. Subscribe to us on YouTube, main page, Soul Serum, TV page, Soul Serum TV. Follow us on TikTok. Join the Discord. Join the Patreon. Merch benefits, early videos. You know the vibes. And with all of that being said, I am your host, Clay Bonite.
I am your temporary host, John Buchanan.
And we'll see y'all next week. Deuces.
Peace.